Hi, and welcome back to this Thursday edition of Focal Point on AFR Talk, the American Family Radio Talk Network. I am Brian Fisher, your congenial, convivial, and amiable host, and you are listening to AFR Talk, the American Family Radio Talk Network. Welcome aboard. Glad you're in the conversation. I'm proud and honored to welcome to our decision maker line Steve Green. Steve is the president and founder of Hobby Lobby. The Faith and Freedom Coalition is having their Road to Majority conference this weekend, and Steve, for his leadership of Hobby Lobby, principled moral leadership of Hobby Lobby, will be receiving the Courage in Business Leadership Award this weekend, and I believe his speech to the Faith and Freedom Coalition conference will be televised on C-SPAN. Steve Green, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you having me.
It's great to have you with us. And Steve, the main reason I wanted to bring you on was to chat, and you're getting this award because of the courage that you have shown in your willingness as somebody who is in private business to stand up for your constitutional right to the free exercise of religion in the face of the pressure that's coming against private business and faith-based businessmen by Obamacare, by this Affordable Care Act. So tell us, for our listeners that may not be aware of some of the backstory, tell us what this act would require you to do and why you felt compelled to take a stand in court.
Well, the mandate has challenged a lot of different organizations because of its requiring the morning after and a week after pill, which is believed to be abortive. There will be some that say it's not, but that you can't conclusively say that from what I understand. But we just feel like that the possibility of these drugs to be abortive is problematic for us in our religion. We believe that life begins at conception, and to require our company to offer those that are within our plan free of charge these drugs, we just have a moral problem with that, and because the mandate required us to do that, we felt like we had no other option but to file suit, which was what we did.
And when you look at the Constitution, Steve, and I know this is part of what motivated you, the First Amendment protects the free exercise of religion. And Congress is not allowed, is flatly prohibited by our Constitution from making a law that would abridge or proscribe or prohibit the free exercise of religion. And there's no indication in there that that's just restricted to what a church does between 11 and noon on Sunday. I mean, that protects the right of Christian businessmen such as yourself to allow their businesses to be shaped and molded and guided by their Christian principles. So you're simply standing up for a right that is enshrined in our Constitution, are you not?
Well, we are, and to us it seems to be that simple as well. But the government has a different position on that, and they're really trying to take that First Amendment and show that there may be some of those rights that a for-profit has, and there have been court cases that indicate that. For example, the freedom of speech. Newspapers, for example, that are a for-profit entity, it's been determined in court they have rights for freedom of speech. But when it comes to the free exercise of religion, the government is saying a for-profit organization does not have that, and that is what their argument is. We argue that, well, as Americans, as a family that owns this business by ourselves, it's our understanding that we do, and that's what the courts are going to have to take a look at and decide for us.
Well, you know, it seems to me you got a fundamental misunderstanding of the Constitution on the part of the courts and the Obama administration, because the rights in the Bill of Rights are individual rights. They belong to you as an individual, regardless of whether you're a business owner, a Bible study leader, a pastor, or just an ordinary citizen. You have the right to the free exercise of religion just as an individual American citizen, and therefore have the right to allow those values to infuse your own business. Now, Steve, I'm talking here with Steve Green of Hobby Lobby. There have been 32 for-profit lawsuits that have been filed according to the Beckett Fund for Religious Liberty. Yours is one of them. And these have been filed over this HHS mandate. 27 of these for-profit plaintiffs have obtained rulings. And so far, the Obama administration has lost 20 out of 27. 20 of the for-profit businesses have secured injunctive relief. So the scoreboard is 20-7. Unfortunately, Steve, Hobby Lobby was one of the for-profit businesses where the injunction was denied, which means according to the Beckett Fund, the court has ruled that you and your business must comply with the mandate while the full case continues in court. And so I'm assuming that that's where things stand as of right now. And the Obama administration, Steve, has said they are going to start enforcing this on August 1. It doesn't matter. They're going to enforce it. If you don't comply, you are going to be fined. And I understand the fines in the case of Hobby Lobby could be as much as $1.3 million a day. So, Steve, let me ask you this question. You get to August 1, and this court order is still in effect that you must comply with this mandate, even though your case may still be active in the court system. What will you do?
Well, our date is sooner than that. Ours is July 1. That's when our plan renews, and that's when it becomes effective. Everybody by August 1 will have had to have, but ours is July 1. But we still will not. We will risk the exposure of the fines, and that's in question as well. But it's just something that we, as a family, sat down and I just say it wasn't my decision. The family sat down and decided that it's just something that we couldn't do and we won't do.
So what I'm hearing from you, Steve, is this is an important enough principle to you, your Christian convictions, religious liberty, the First Amendment of the Constitution, that you understand that if you stand against the Obama administration on this, it could put the viability, the survival of Hobby Lobby at risk. But because of principle, that is a risk that you are willing and your family willing to take.
Right. We have known that worst case scenario, the fine being $1.3 million a day, which will be a whole nother argument if we had to face it. That's not sustainable. But we believe that there's even another argument there. But the family has made the decision that we'll face the fine versus offering what we believe would be abortive pills for free to those that are on our plan.
Been talking here with Steve Green, who is the president and founder of Hobby Lobby, taking a principled stand against some of the tyrannical provisions of Obamacare, particularly ordering employers to provide abortifacients, that is medicine, medications, prescriptions that do cause an abortion, because they will cause a fertilized egg to be flushed out of a woman's body before it can implant fertilized egg. That's a human being at the earliest stage of development. It is an abortion-causing drug. And Steve Green, Hobby Lobby, we're not going to be forced into doing that. We believe in the sanctity of life. We believe in the First Amendment. And Steve, I want to thank you for taking time to be with us. I congratulate you. Courage in Business Leadership Award given this weekend at the Faith and Freedom Coalition Road to Majority Conference. Well deserved. We thank you for standing in the gap for us. We are praying for you. We are behind you. And let's all pray and trust that in the end, God's truth and justice will prevail.
We appreciate it, and thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Steve. Steve Green, president and founder of Hobby Lobby. And ladies and gentlemen, what you just heard there, that's a principled stand for truth and righteousness. You talk about the courage of the founding fathers. That's it right there. I mean, you heard Steve Green right here in this program. Look, this thing could bankrupt us. We're not going to cower. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to capitulate. We are going to stand on principle, even if it bankrupts this business. Focal Point AFR Talk. Back in 2. Stay with us.